I'm Dr. Rebecca. Welcome to this presentation, Linking Learning Methods with Learning Styles. In this presentation, we're going to talk about Kolb's learning style and Bloom's taxonomy. At the end of this presentation, you should be able to describe the Kolb-Bloom blended framework, explain how Kolb's learning style and Bloom's taxonomy are linked, describe the 3 types of training, and generalize how the Kolb-Bloom framework can be used to inform your training decisions. The graphic that we're using is a blended framework that includes Kolb's learning styles and Bloom's taxonomy. This is the same framework that I use to create and align courses with student and university requirements. When looking at this blended framework for application in the work environment, we're drawing on Malcolm Knowles' theory of adult learning andragogy. This theory assumes that students and employees as adults have a point of reference from their life experiences to build upon in our student and employee training programs. As trainers, we ask students and employees to draw on their previous life experiences and make intentional connections to the topics being learned. Let's take a closer look at this graphic. Kolb's learning styles are located at the center of the graphic. Kolb's learning styles reflect how students and adults process information, and according to Werner and DeSimone, Kolb's learning styles can also be used to explain why some adults are more successful with different modes of learning. When thinking about a mode of learning, we're describing how the information is delivered. When delivering information in combinations of thinking and watching or feeling and watching, we're asking students to process information through observation, connecting to experiences, and reasoning out the information. When delivering information in combinations of thinking and doing or feeling and doing, we're asking students to process the information through a more hands-on experience, focusing on the application of information in new experiences and resolving issues within the content being learned. Kolb's learning style can be linked to our intended outcomes through Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy describes our intention of learning as introducing a new topic, reinforcing the topic, developing an understanding of the topic, or developing the individual's ability to assess the topic. Each of these outcomes reflect a successively higher level of competency. Bloom's taxonomy goes a step further and describes a more specific and descriptive level of competency that you're seeking to obtain from students and employees. All right, let's take a closer look at each competency level, starting at the lowest level of competency and moving towards the highest level of competency. The competency levels begin with knowledge at the initial level of understanding, where knowledge can be recalled. The purpose of instruction at this level is to introduce a new topic. Students and employees are asked to describe, relate, recall, reproduce, or memorize information. This is the lowest level of competency. The next level of competency is comprehension, a higher level of understanding where students and employees can connect the information to their experiences for the purpose of reinforcing the initial knowledge learned. Students and employees are asked to demonstrate an understanding of knowledge. To do this, students and employees are asked to describe, illustrate, explain, relate, generalize, or distinguish information. Knowledge and comprehension are the 2 lowest levels of understanding and are typically used for laying the foundation of knowledge or conveying information that is needed but may not need to be applied. This type of information is typically delivered through observations such as briefings, presentations, face-to-face discussions, or, like this, watching a video. The next level of competency is application in the watching mode. This level of competency requires students and employees to connect knowledge and apply it for the purpose of reinforcing learning. At this level, students and employees are asked to apply, demonstrate, or practice knowledge gained with previous experience. To do this, students or employees may be asked to recall a previous experience and consider how the information may be applied in that situation. demonstrate understanding, or practice for reinforcing through describing, explaining, or relating how this information would be applied to a situation. Keep in mind that Bloom's taxonomy connected to Kolb's learning style at this level of competency means that information is experienced through a combination of thinking and reflection and observing. This type of information can be experienced through journaling, blogging, face-to-face discussions, or presentations developed and delivered by students or employees. The next level of competency is analysis in the thinking mode. This level of competency requires students and employees to connect knowledge and apply it for the purpose of topic understanding. At this level, students and employees are asked to analyze, interpret, compare, contrast, criticize, infer, question, or examine knowledge gained in the previous competency levels. This can be experienced by students comparing a previous experience with new objects or ideas such as models, frameworks, or constructs. Keep in mind that Bloom's taxonomy connected to Kolb's learning style at this level of competency means that information is experienced through the thinking mode. This type of information can be experienced through journaling, blogging, face-to-face discussions, or presentations by students or employees, as well as debates, peer reviews, and self-assessments. The next level of competency is application in the doing and thinking modes. This level of competency also requires students and employees to connect knowledge and apply it for the purpose of topic understanding. However, at this level of competency, students and employees are asked to apply knowledge gained in previous competency levels by applying, demonstrating, producing, interpreting, predicting, solving, or writing. This can be experienced by students applying knowledge of models, frameworks, or constructs to new situations and anticipating the outcomes. This type of information can be experienced through case studies or contemplations of potential future situations where possible outcomes can be predicted or potential problems can be resolved. The next level of competency is analysis in the doing and thinking modes. Again, this level of competency requires students and employees to connect knowledge and apply it for the purpose of topic understanding. However, at this level, students and employees are asked to break down, calculate, diagram, illustrate, model, or test knowledge in order to generalize the knowledge to a wider range of situations. This can be experienced by students breaking down objects or ideas into smaller parts and finding evidence to support the generalization. At this level of competency, students and employees are applying knowledge of models, frameworks, or constructs to new situations and anticipating the outcomes. This level of competency can be experienced by students and employees researching information, creating mind maps, testing a theory or concept with a previous situation or case study, or calculating outcomes related to a case study. The next level of competency is synthesis in the doing mode. This level of competency requires students and employees to compile component ideas into a new whole or propose alternative solutions for the purpose of assessing topic knowledge. At this level, students and employees are asked to construct new knowledge by composing, creating, designing, reconstructing, rewriting, writing, or telling. At this level of competency, students and employees are creating new models, frameworks, or constructs from the previous experiences or proposed situations. This higher level of competency can be experienced by developing strategies, plans, programs, seminars, processes, models, alternative courses of actions, or solutions. For students and employees, this could be experienced through individual projects, group projects, or committees. The final level of competency is evaluation in the doing and feeling modes. This level of competency requires students and employees to make and defend arguments for the purpose of topic assessment. At this level of competency, students and employees are engaging a higher level of topic complexity in assessing new and old models, frameworks, or constructs from the previous experiences as well as proposed situations. To do this, students are asked to argue, defend, evaluate, judge, justify, and rate information. This higher level of competency can be experienced by students judging information and outcomes based on internal or external criteria. For students and employees, this could be experienced through critical assessments, research projects, experiments, and oral or written defense. Keep in mind that the use of this blended framework is based on the assumption of andragogy, where the student or employee population has experiences to draw from. In addition, the suggestions for experiencing the knowledge and demonstration of competency is not all-inclusive. Human resource development training programs have three distinct purposes that include compliance, performance, and innovation. Let's talk about these three types of training a bit more. Typically, compliance training is mandated by legal requirements. These can include health and safety as well as organizational policies. These programs are not only legal requirements, they're also preventative. Safety and workers' compensation issues, sexual harassment, hostile work environment, and retaliation allegations are time-consuming, costly, and can hurt the organization's reputation. So while these training programs are required, their importance should not be overlooked. Keep in mind that these human resource development programs, while intended to meet legal requirements, can also set the tone for organizational culture and accepted behaviors. Typically, job performance needs will result in skills-based human resource development training programs. There are times when job performance is related to employee attributes such as interpersonal skills development, rather than job skills such as efficient and effective task performance. The approach to job skills for performance will either be to correct performance problems or to increase or expand existing job skills for more effective or efficient performance. Keep in mind that these human resource development training programs are intended to support existing organizational competencies. Typically, training programs for innovation will seek competency levels beyond the basic skills-based focus. Innovation programs focus on ways to perform tasks on a job level, unit level, or organizational level. Therefore, these types of programs may be directed at one person, a group of individuals, or the entire organization. Often, the industry the organization operates within will determine the extent of the need for innovative human resource development programs. For example, a high pace of change industry such as technology will require an organizational approach to innovative human resource development programs. Keep in mind that these human resource development programs are intended to support existing but also future organizational competencies. All right, let's put it all together. Next, we're going to describe how to apply the Kolb-Bloom framework to training design. Consider the competency level that may be needed for different types of training. For example, with compliance training, you're likely seeking knowledge and comprehension competency level outcomes. You want employees to be able to describe and recall the information. You may also want them to be able to explain and distinguish between information. If you're working with a supervisor, you may want the supervisor to have a higher level of competency that may include application and analysis. It may be helpful to consider a specific group in your own organization. Keep in mind that the method of delivery may vary with the situation and employees' knowledge. Let's look at a workplace example that most people can relate to. Suppose we select sexual harassment training to help us classify learning methods. Where does the compliance training go on the graphic? As I mentioned, it would fit at the knowledge and comprehension competency level. This is because we want to introduce the information and reinforce the learning. The related learning strategies include feeling and watching. Looking at page 91, this type of learning is divergent, a combination of concrete experience and reflective observation emphasizing imagination and awareness of values and the ability to generate alternative courses of action. Looking at Bloom's taxonomy, we want the employees to be able to describe and recall the information, as well as be able to explain and distinguish alternatives. Methods of instruction appropriate to these outcomes would include sensory channels seen on page 93, such as print materials including the organizational policies, an online or in-person presentation of the information, and the opportunity to ask questions. This would be linked to learning strategies on page 92 to include rehearsal strategies and elaboration strategies. Looking ahead to your student presentations, this is the same process that you'll use to align your design before writing the presentation, discussion questions, or activity. If we were to create a training based on the compliance example provided here, our discussion questions may ask you to describe a situation recalling the information provided. An activity may ask participants to distinguish between alternative courses of action for a given situation. Because we're looking at knowledge and comprehension, we would not want to include role-playing or other types of hands-on approaches. If we were to conduct a training session for supervisors, then role-playing would be appropriate as part of a demonstration or application at the higher competency level required. All right. At the end of this presentation, let me know if you have any questions about this alignment. So what did we learn in this presentation? This presentation described the Kolb-Bloom blended framework and its use. It explained how Kolb's learning styles and Bloom's taxonomy are linked. We also described the 3 different types of training. An example was also provided on how to use the Kolb-Bloom framework to create alignment between competency level, objectives, and methods of learning that link participant experiences to past and future experiences. You should now be able to describe and explain the Kolb-Bloom framework and generalize this framework to the 3 types of training. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope that you found the information useful. The Kolb-Bloom graphic was developed for the graduate class Managing Human Resource Development at Texas A&M University, Central Texas. This graphic is available on my website for anyone who would like to use it.